This is a middle grade book tag, so for my drink of choice, I am picking High C. Were you guys a High C drinker when you're in middle grade? So, yes. Living my best middle grade life. Hi, this is MaryEllen with Portraits of Me, and today I'm doing a book tag. It is called the Middle Grade Book Tag. But before I get to the book tag, I do want to speak to you on a personal level. I just want to let you guys know that my father is coming to town, which I'm very excited about. So I probably won't be very active on BookTube for a few weeks. I didn't have time to pre-record some videos, but I want to get this tag in before middle grade March is over. And so that's why I'm doing this tag right now. So I just got done fixing up the spare room for my father. And I'm so excited to have him in town. So just want to give you that heads up. So if you don't see any videos for a bit, I did not leave the community. I am just taking a little vacation while my dad's here. Okay, so let's get to the book tag. It is, again, the middle grade book tag. This is an original book tag from Amanda, the Curly Reader. And I was tagged to do this video by Berna from Berna's Bookish Adventures. So thank you so much, Berna, for tagging me. I'm so excited to do it. I actually was watching everybody's middle grade book tags and hoping someone would tag me. So thank you so much, because I really wanted to do this one. It sounded like so much fun. So let's get to the questions. The first question is, what is the last middle grade book you read? And since it's the middle of middle grade March, I actually have finished a middle grade book, and that is this one right here. It is Ban This Book, and this book was so much fun to read. The reason I picked this book to read for middle grade March is because it talks about an elementary school who had banned the mixed up files of Miss Basil E. Frankweiler. It's such a hard title to say. And that's one of my childhood favorite books. So when I found out that this book references that book and it's banning from the school, I just had to pick it up and read it. And I am not disappointed by this book. It was a fun read, and I really loved the storyline. I like the issues that this book talked about, and the little girl who is the main character. Her name is Amy Ann, and it was fun to see her development throughout the story as well. So I highly recommend this book if you haven't read it. But this was the last middle grade book that I've read so far, but I am reading other ones because of middle grade March. The second question is, what is a middle grade book someone read to you as a child? And for that book, I am picking one that I remember that a teacher read to me when I was in the 4th grade, and she picked a book that I'm sure a lot of you guys have read, or it was read to you, and that is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. This is the copy that I had purchased after she read it to us, and so I don't know if this is the original. It's pretty old, but I'm not sure if this was mine or if it's one I found after. But then later in life, I always wanted the hardcover edition. So this is the hardcover edition my husband had bought me, and it's a box set. The only thing I don't like about the box set is they reordered the books. So instead of this book being the first book, as you can see in the older set, book number 1, now it is book number 2, which I don't really like, because I think it takes the mystery out of the adventure. Because what used to be the last book in the series is now the first book, and the last book tells the whole creation of Narnia. So I like how this one was the first book to begin with, because it had that mystery. You didn't know what this world was. You didn't know what Lucy discovered when she walked through that wardrobe. But I have very fond memories of my teacher reading this to me after lunch recess. We would come back to class and we would sit at our desk and she would read a chapter or two from this book. So I have very fond memories of that as a child. Okay, question number 3. What was your favorite middle grade book as a child? Okay, I have a few because I loved to read as a child, and of course this one is on the list, but I already talked about it, so we'll get to the other books that I loved as a child. Okay, I have quite a stack. See, quite a stack of books. So all these are still on my bookshelf. Most of these are the originals that I owned when I was a child, such as Where the Red Fern Grows. Really enjoyed this book. See, it's from when I was smaller. And this is the story about a young boy who is saving up to get 2 hunting dogs, but this is a really good book, good adventure, so one of my favorite as a kid. Another one was an animal book as well. It is The Incredible Journey. You remember that one? Look how old this book is. And this is my original book. It still has my name in here as a grade schooler. So this one is about some animals who had to find their way back home. It's Their Incredible Journey. So that's that book right there. Another one that I really liked was the Norby Chronicles. And this was the copy I had, but this isn't the original one that I had as a child, because I don't know what I did with that one. So I bought a new one because I wanted to remember the edition that I had growing up that I so fondly remember reading. And this one is about a robot. So he's a mixed up robot and he goes on adventures with his owner who buys him in a secondhand shop. Really fun book. Sci-fi, of course. And then another favorite is The Indian in the Cupboard. Remember that one? This was one of my favorite ones growing up as well. So there's that one. And then I remember saving up my money, and when they had a book fair at school, I was able to buy this book. This one was purchased by my own money. I remember that fun experience, and it became one of my favorite books, I think because I bought it myself. But that is this book right here. It is A Dog Called Kitty. That's this book right here. I remember after buying it and reading it, I gave it to my sister, and then I stole it back because I felt bad that I gave it away. So, so now it's mine again. That's this book right here. And then I don't have the original copy of this book, but I remember really loving the book Bunnicula. This is a bound up of 3 books in one, but I had just the first book, and I've only read the first book, which is Bunnicula. I haven't read the other 2, even though I have this edition. But this is about a little bunny who, the dogs in the house, I think it's a dog and a cat in the house, think it's a vampire because it drains the juices out of vegetables. So such a fun book for middle graders. So there's my big stack of books that I still have on my shelf that I loved as a child and that I'm keeping because I have fond memories of them. Okay, question number 4. What is your favorite middle grade book now? I don't know if I have a favorite middle grade book now. I like the ones I just showed you because I liked remembering that feeling of discovery of reading as a child and being so engrossed in these adventures with the middle grade mindset. But as an adult, I'm not sure I have a favorite. Of course, I'll always remember, you know, Narnia as my favorite, The Indian in the Cupboard. But I can tell you a recent book that I read is this one right here, Small Spaces. And that one was such a fun, creepy book for a middle grade book. I liked it a lot, and this is one of the ones I recently read and enjoyed. And then, I don't know, I guess I'll just name that one for now because that's in my pile of books. I actually picked that book for a different question. So let's get to the next question. Who is your favorite middle grade author? Okay, this is going to sound bad, but I never pay attention to authors. Is that bad? Is that only me? Because since I joined BookTube, I realized a lot of people talk about their favorite authors and authors that they've read and authors that they follow. And I've never been a reader who's followed an author or who's paid attention to authors. And I don't know if that's weird or not. So I don't have a favorite middle grade author. The way I choose my books when I was young and even now as an older adult, I choose it by the story. If the story sounds interesting, I give it a go. And then if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. And it's weird because even if I like a book, I still don't pay attention to the author to get more of their books. I'm more of a adventure, subject matter driven reader. So if the story sounds good, I'll give it a chance no matter who wrote it. So I don't have an answer for that question. So let's get to the next question. What middle grade book do you think should be required reading at school? This was another very hard question. So Amanda did such a great job with this tag because she really got me thinking. And I don't really have a recommendation of a book that I think should be required reading. I'm a pleasure reader, so I like to read books for pleasure, but I instead of required reading, I would do recommended reading for students. And the books that I would recommend would be any book that has some kind of learning lesson for the child. So something about, community or acceptance of others, a death in a family and how to deal with that, being bullied. So something to that extent, if it's in the story and it's portrayed in a good way, I would recommend that middle grade readers read that book. If I did have to choose though, I would pick those books. I don't even know what they're called, but I have a stack of them in my bookshelf. I just couldn't get to them because there's so many books piled in front of it and around it. But it's that series where they talk about a historical figure. They don't have to be famous or anything like that, but they take a person and they put him in a historical setting and they tell a story. So you're learning about history through this character's adventure or problem or dilemma or something. So I'll put a picture here of what I'm talking about. There's different ones from different eras in history. I would recommend those to read because I've read a few of them and really enjoyed them, and I love history, so it's kind of sharing that love of history with the younger generation. Okay, I think we're on to the last question. Oh, we have 2 more questions. Okay, let's get to the next one. What is your favorite middle grade book cover? Okay, so I just scanned my shelves because I don't really have anything that comes straight to mind, but I scanned my shelves and I pulled some off that I really like looking at or that caught my attention, and that's the reason I bought the book in some cases. So let me show you some of those covers. The first one was Small Spaces. That's why I had it here. I just love this cover. I'm kind of like Krista. I heard on her middle grade book tag that she liked covers with trees on it. I think it was her. I love covers with trees on it too. That's one of my favorite things to see on books. So I like this one with the tree. Sorry for the glare. And I like the creepiness of the scarecrow. And then I don't know if you can tell, but back here, these are all like creepy scarecrow figurines in the field. So I like this book cover. I tend to like book covers that engage my imagination and make me wonder about the story. So this is another one I like. I haven't read this book, but I found it in the bookstore, and just that cover just gets me thinking, like, ooh, that looks very mysterious. So this is another favorite one. And then this is a cute little cover that does the same thing. Trying to get the glare out. But just looking at the characters, seeing the little witch and the side characters around the cauldron just looks fun. Really gets me thinking about the book and the story. And then this one is beautiful. So I love this cover. I was very disappointed when the second book came out and the cover wasn't as pretty. It was kind of, I'll put a picture here. This one isn't as pretty as the UK cover, which is this one right here that I want. But this one, for the first book, I really love the cover. So that's the answer to that question. Okay, let's get to the last question. What is your favorite middle grade book to screen adaptation? Okay, you can tell I'm a middle grade lover here because I couldn't pick just one. I have so many. I love The Sword in the Stone, which I'm finally reading the book this year for middle grade March. And so far I'm enjoying the book, but I really love the Disney cartoon. So that's one of my favorite movie adaptations. Another is the BFG. I just got done reading this book for middle grade March too, but I saw the movie first that I think Disney did. Really loved that movie, and the book was so cute, and I love the book as well, so I love the two the same. Of course, Disney did Peter Pan. Maybe anything that Disney does that was a book I seem to enjoy, but I love Peter Pan. I didn't care for the story though. I didn't care for this book, but I do love the Disney adaptation of it, which is a lot different than the book. Maybe that's why I don't like the book. Okay, another one that I really liked is the older Nancy Drew movie. It's not the newer ones that have been coming out, it's the older one, and I really liked it. It was just a fun, light mystery movie. So I like that one. So it's not this title, but this is the only Nancy Drew book I had. But I like that adaptation of Nancy Drew and the characters and the mystery. So those are a few book to movie adaptations that I really enjoyed as a reader and a movie watcher. Okay, so that's it, you guys. Those are the answers to the middle grade book tag. I really had fun doing this tag. Again, thank you so much, Berna, for tagging me. If you're interested in doing this tag, I will link all the videos below from Amanda and Berna if you want to see theirs and get some ideas. And I'll put the questions down there as well, so you can do the tag if you want to. And I do love comments, you guys. I love speaking with you guys about the books I've mentioned. So if you've read any of the books that I have mentioned, or have any books you would like to share with me, go ahead and use that comment box below and leave me a comment, and I will definitely talk to you there. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. And as always, have a great morning, day, evening, or night, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! It's gone.